Now, that may seem like it may have been obvious which driver was at fault, but would it be surprising if I told you that it was both emotional drivers who were in the wrong?
Hello, my name is Elder Price.
Okay, but seriously, hello. Welcome to a segment on things that you might not have believed are actually driving distractions, but actually are. Yep, full title. I've copyrighted this, so don't even try and steal it. Now, when you think distracted driving, I presume your mind often travels to topics such as drinking or texting while driving. Well, you are absolutely correct to presume, since those are indeed major causes of distracted driving that have killed far too many people and have even been leading causes of driving-related deaths, which is extremely scary to think about. However, there is another form of distracted driving that many people tend to look over and often forget, and that is, a drum roll please, your own emotions. Yes, this is what this video is about. How emotions affect your driving. And it's more scary than you might like to believe. How many people have been in accidents all because they were just a little too depressed or even just really ecstatic that day. So let's get right on into it. There are countless different emotions that affect not only our day-to-day lives, but our driving capabilities as well. Whether you're upset, frustrated, afraid, tired, relaxed, angry, or even just overly happy, every emotion affects the ability of your driving. Drivers distracted by their emotional state can most likely make bad judgment calls and end up responding slowly to any present danger on the road. So, getting started. Let's start off with a simple one to understand. Tiredness. Most of us has been there. We're exhausted and maybe we've just had a long day at school or work, and we honestly just want to get to our destination. However, being drowsy on the road is a huge don't. Being tired acts like alcohol, impairing your ability to make good decisions while you might actually just be a decent driver. Your rationale is completely out of whack and your reaction time is slowed severely. Not to mention, if you're completely fatigued, you run the risk of falling asleep at the wheel, which is dangerous. Even if you just nod off for a second, that second could completely determine whether you live or die, or hurt someone else in the process. In turn, just don't drive while you're exhausted. Ask a friend to give you a ride or to drive your car for a while so you can relax. Call a taxi or an Uber. Then feel free to fall asleep in the car when you've lowered your risk of road casualties. Or if worse comes to worse and you absolutely have to drive yourself, then take a nap on the side of the road. Believe me, whatever is so important can wait. If someone is waiting up for you, then make them wait a little longer. It's better than them having to wait in the waiting room of a hospital to come and see you. Next on the list is anxiety, or just nervousness in general. Anxiety is a big one that I'm sure every single one of us has felt at some point in their driving career. I know I have. It's a scary thing being on the road. Every time I personally get on there, I feel like my entire life is on the line. Who knows what other drivers are going to do? Are they drinking? Are they on drugs? Are they going to decide to text and drive? Are they experiencing severe road rage? Are they carrying a lethal weapon? Honestly, we don't know. And oftentimes, we can't tell. But we do know one thing about the last question. They're driving a lethal weapon. Anxiety can get all these thoughts running through your head, especially if you already suffer from severe anxiety in your day-to-day life. Anxious people can lead to panic attacks on the road, maybe because you started thinking about all those extremely high numbers of fatalities caused by driving, or all those young, innocent people whose lives are ended before it even began, all because somebody made a poor decision. And just before you know it, because your anxiety is acting up, you're fluctuating the numbers yourself. Yeah, it isn't pretty. Anxiety sucks, especially when you're on the road, but there's plenty of ways to avoid it. Even though it may be hard for you, depending on how bad your nervousness may be, it's still completely plausible to relax. Remind yourself that everything's going to be alright. and that as long as you're being a careful and responsible driver, you can only hope that everyone else is following your lead. Another emotion that can greatly impact your driving is if you're depressed, or even just gravely upset. Not counting that drivers taking antidepressants have a higher risk of driving casualties in itself, you being depressed can horribly greater the chances of car accidents. Research suggests suffering from a mental illness such as depression can not only be caused by traumatic experiences on the road, but can also be the leading cause of these incidents. Being depressed affects your brain activity, making you mentally impaired, like alcohol. According to an article about driving depression on overcomedepression.co.uk, quote, people who are dealing with depression sometimes have major memory and concentration problems and may also be dealing with suicidal thoughts. This can affect driving reaction time. It can also leave a driver confused and struggling to focus, end quote. Not only that, but individuals experiencing suicidal thoughts have a greater chance of taking dangerous actions while on the road, because a lot of the time, people suffering from these thoughts can get triggered into acting on those thoughts while on the road, which is a big no. And this not only affects people who suffer from mental illness, but even just normal individuals who might just be upset or distraught. In which case, this type of distraction can cause one to act recklessly on the road, endangering the lives of those around you. So maybe it's best to try and relax and take deep breaths while thinking about anything happy to get your mind off of what is making you upset in the first place. Next, there's the repercussions of driving overly ecstatic. Actually, being overly engaged in positive emotions such as excitement can actually result in some. That moment of happiness can wait for you to get off the road and endangering lives. Please, ladies and gentlemen, hold your excitement. I don't want to be murdered, all because your girlfriend's parents aren't home for the weekend. And finally, probably the most easy to understand aspect, your anger. We all know about road rage. Some of us may have experienced once or twice ourselves in our driving careers. And we all know the clear and present danger of aggressive driving, which can not only lead to injuries on the road, but also off the road. If you're angered at something, whatever it may be, perhaps it's reasonable, perhaps not, we don't care. Take calming breaths, relax. Save it for home. We'd rather you injure your knuckles punching out the wall rather than punching in at the hospital. Being angry while driving can cause you to take reckless actions and maybe even purposely harm someone on the road. Just don't do it. Are you just looking to murder someone because they're tailgating you or something? Well, don't make yourself the jerk. Let them suffer with how much of a jerk they are themselves. Maybe they'll learn from their mistakes in the future. So just take those feelings of anger and just... So, yeah, emotions suck. But letting go of these pesky emotions can save your lives. So it's best while you're on the road to save others. Thanks for watching. And if you're an avid subscriber and not actually from my driver's ed class or the teacher himself, then feel free to check out some of my other videos in the description below. Or maybe you guys are interested. I really don't think so, but why not? Also, links to the song clips used in the videos will be down there as well. Hope you guys learned something, because I honestly did while doing research from this. Who knew being happy could be so bad? Well, you know what they say. Happiness kills. I think. Anyway, peace out, guys.